Hi everyone. I think a lot of people assume that Chinese AIs, like this is Z.AI, and this one is DeepSeek, they write better than non-Chinese ones, or at least like ChatGPT and Gemini. So in this video, what I want to do is compare them. So let's start off with ChatGPT, which I use all the time. And I've prepared a prompt, so I'll copy and paste it. So I'm comparing different AIs Chinese writing. Please write a 500-character essay in Chinese Mandarin simplified for the prompt. If I had more time, I would have written a shorter letter. Yes, people criticize / I don't know, suggest I make shorter videos. I do understand my videos are ridiculously long and no one actually watches the whole lot. At the same time, yeah, it is hard to make shorter videos. If I just record myself studying and thinking aloud, it's much easier. And I still am just a student, right? I'm not an expert at video making. Anyway, make it suitable for a Chinese HSK6-level student. At the end, include a multiple choice ABCD comprehension question. So yeah, so this is the prompt. I'm motivated by this feedback on my videos. Let's see how it goes. ChatGPT, so I've got two ChatGPT and Gemini are non-Chinese, but they're non-Chinese in the sense that they're developed in other countries. But obviously, yeah, there are going to be Chinese people working for these companies, and it's going to be using a plethora of native Chinese content for training data. All right, so that is more than 500 characters. How many characters is that? That is 512. Oh, wow. All right. 512 characters. Well, there it is. Now, can I make it a bit bigger? So let's read it. 如果我有更多的时间，我一定会写一封更短的信。写信看似简单，但其实要把思想表达清楚，同时又简明。I don't even know that character. 要 or something like that. 扼要，简明扼要。却需要更多的思考和推敲。Again, it's another new word for me, 推敲。以前我总是急于把想说的话都写进去，写进去。Is that legit? Can you legit say 写进去 and not 写下来? Maybe. 写进去. That's a bit suspicious. Maybe. It's like write it into. Maybe you write something in an input box or something like that. 写进去. I don't think that is legit. 信往往长的像小说一样，读的人不免觉得累，觉得累。后来，我读到一句名言：如果我有更多的时间，我会写得更短。Bit of repetition there and there. Here and here, it's the same. 我才明白，简短的文字背后是对语言的深刻理解和对表达的严格要求。我才明白，简短的文字背后是对什么什么的严格要求。有一次，我给一位朋友发写信，不，我给一位老朋友写信，想告诉他我最近的生活和心情，我草草写完。写完。信里堆满了细节，但朋友回信说 你的信很详细。pardon me，但读起来有点累。我恍然大悟，如果我花更多时间删去不必要的细节，整理好重点，信会更清晰，更容易让人感受到我的用心。Is 用心a noun? Huh. It is a noun. It can be used as a noun. 从那以后，我每次写信或写文章，都会先列一个大纲。All right，把最重要的内容放在前面，把次要的细节放在后面。OK，再慢慢精炼语言。虽然这需要耐心和时间，但效果总是值得的。简短的文字，不仅让人容易理解，也更能让人记得核心的思想。慢慢的，我发现写短文、写信或写作文，时间的投入和语言的精炼，成正比。正比means directly proportional. This is a maths concept. So the time investment and the precision of language, 成正比, are directly proportional. So I'm a bit surprised that ChatGPT uses directly proportional. There you go. 所以，如果我有更多的时间，我一定会写一封更短、更有力的信。All right, I'm happy for it to repeat here because this is the concluding paragraph. 因为真正打动人心的不是字数的多寡 ，what 多寡？I've never seen this word before. Hang on, 字数 is the number of characters. 多寡, the number of characters. That looks a bit suspicious to me as well, actually. 而是每个字都经过仔细斟酌。This is a fairly rare word. 斟酌 deliberation. Okay. 每句话都直指核心，学会用更少的字表达更多的意思，是我不断努力的目标。All right. So, what do I think of that? Actually, it wasn't fantastic. I was a little bit surprised. This redundancy annoyed me. I mean, writing it a second time, it didn't feel very coherent to me. Like, it's like, I want to write about this, and then I write about this, and then I write about that. And the story did not seem very believable. Like, I'm writing an outline. If I want to write a letter, I'm going to start writing an outline and all this sort of stuff. It didn't really talk about the quotation itself. So ChatGPT didn't seem to recognize that it was a famous quotation and didn't explain its, what's the word? Metaphorical meaning. It's like between the lines meaning, in non-literal meaning. All right. What's the question like? 信的作者为什么认为写短信比写长信更困难？因为写短信需要更多思考和推敲。答案就是这个。因为短信不够详细。因为长信更容易打动人心。This one is also correct, right? Maybe not 打动人心, but there were words in that ballpark. Yeah. 因为短信不需要大纲。All right, this was contradicted. I think the answer is A. Yeah. 短信需要更多思考和推敲。 here 需要更多的思考推敲. So that's the anticipated answer, but this one I could feel is a reasonable one as well, because they did imply that if you write a shorter letter, it was more. Where was it? Yeah, 效果这个，简短的文字不仅让人容易理解，也更能让人记得核心的思想。No, it didn't say this right, did it? 打动人心. So that really does test your comprehension. So you need to know that this does not imply C. But at the same time, this was just copied and pasted from the actual paragraph. All right. So what should I do now? Should I do some sort of ranking system? Pause for a second. Right, so I wrote down my thoughts so I can compare them. Yeah, so ChatGPT bad because of repetition, implausible story, suspicious grammar in certain points. I don't know, I could be wrong, but things like that are a bit weird. It sounds at least like 别扭, awkward. And yeah, this answer is literally just copied and pasted from the text. So it's also the longest one, so you can kind of go, oh yeah, it's that one. You'd guess the answer pretty easily. So they're the bad, but the good things are the writing level is kind of suitable. It's HSK6 level writing. It contains some vocabulary that's beyond the HSK6, which is what you get on the actual exam. A few Chongyu, and the tone and the writing style is like that of a speech or a academic writing. This is what you get on the HSK6. So I'm going to give this 7 out of 10. All right, now let's give this exact same prompt to, let's start off with DeepSeek. Let's do a Chinese one now. Oh, why didn't that work? All right. So, okay, so DeepSeek is not giving me any kind of meta stuff. It's like, here's the essay. Oh, the other good thing with ChatGPT, the writing length was exactly correct. Yeah, near exactly 500 characters. All right. So, oh, already that's no good. All right, how many characters is this? 434, so slightly short. Yeah, the one thing I don't like about DeepSeek is that it's very hard to, oh, what's that? New chat opens. Like read, it's too small. Ah! Yeah, all right. Well, we're reading small characters. 论若有更多时间，本可写一封更短的信. So, all right, 论 here is like opinion, right? It's an opinion piece. 法国哲学家派萨卡尔曾言，若有更多时间，我本可写一封更短的信。这句看似矛盾的语言，实则揭示了一个深刻的道理：精炼的表达往往需要更多的时间与心力。Yeah, this feels totally different to ChatGPT's writing. 在信息爆炸的今天，我们习惯于快速产出冗长的内容。冗长 is like lengthy and redundant. 勿将篇幅等同于深度。Wow. Yeah, this is totally different to what ChatGPT writes. 然而，真正的智慧在于提炼。 如同匠人打磨璞玉. So I don't really know this character, but this is some sort of jasper or something like that, I guess. 璞玉, unpolished. Oh, so you're polishing an unpolished jade. Okay. 去除冗余. Okay, we see wrong again. Wrong, 冗余. So removing 冗余 would be like the parts of the jade that are not needed. 方显本质, 写作毅然, 初稿洋洋洒洒. Wow. 易 what? 删繁不就简难. Okay, so we have a kind of a sentence structure I have not encountered before. Maybe it's like novel. 写作毅然. So 毅然 meaning it is just like polishing jade. So this is pretty advanced grammar, right? 初稿洋洋洒洒. Is this a 成语 or some kind? 洋洋洒洒. Voluminous. 洒洒. Oh, okay. 洋洋洒洒. 易. So I'm not sure if this is legit. I don't know. It feels like too advanced for me to have a valid comment on. 删繁就简难. So it's easy to write down voluminous thoughts and whatnot, but it is difficult to like refine them to jade. 这不仅是对文字的锤炼，更是对思想的提群. I don't know this word. 提群. Purify. Purify your thoughts. 我们需要反复推敲. There it is again. That's the word ChatGPT used. 甄选. I was studying this word. What was I? 甄别 was the word I was studying. 甄选最精准的词汇，构建最凝练的句式，才能实现言有尽而意无穷的境界. Is this like Confucius says territory? 言有尽而意无穷. So words are limited, but meaning is unlimited. So basically it means your writing has few words, but a lot of meaning for each word, or for the yeah, this writing style is totally different. 这个过程恰似中国画中的留白. I don't know what 留白 refers to. 画家在方寸之间刻意留出空白，反而为观者提供了无限的想象空间。简洁的文字，正如画中的留白。So, okay, 因其含蓄与克制，而更具张力与韵味。它需要作者拥有更深厚的积累与更清晰的逻辑，才能做到增一分则太长，减一分则太短。Wow. Okay, so what is the 留白? So DeepSeek has taken me on a journey into Chinese culture here. 留白. To leave some empty space in a work of art. Yeah. 因此，这句名言并非时间管理的悖论，而是对创作态度的深刻洞察。它提醒我们，追求简洁是一种更高阶的能力，是效率与美感的完美结合。All right, Okay, so that was just fantastic, that article, right? Like, this is just amazing. Um, I do feel it's slightly more advanced than a HSK6 level essay. All right, let's see what the comprehension question is like. Oh, I didn't set any standards for it, but okay. 作者认为 blah 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 这句话主要说明了什么？现代人写作速度太慢，需要提高效率。错，肯定不是这个。写长信 ，no， 写长信比写短信需要更多的技巧。错，it's the complete opposite of that。精炼的表达需要更多时间来思考和打磨。就这个 ，that's exactly correct。时间越多，actually it says 时间越多，反而越不知道该如何写作。That's got nothing to do with anything. Yeah. Wow. That is definitely better than what ChatGPT wrote. It is also definitely much harder than what ChatGPT wrote. Yeah. All right. Pause for a second. I'm going to write down my thoughts. Well, there it is. Okay, so I wrote down my thoughts. I think this is beyond HSK6 level, this writing. Is that good or bad? I don't know. It is pretty advanced. There's many words outside HSK6 level. Probably it's harder than what you'll get on an actual exam. Yeah, it has this this kind of weird nan, which is the kind of thing you see in like essays and so on when people are trying to be more creative and novel and original. Like, makes sense. This is easy. This is hard. And you do have an awful lot of abbreviations in Chinese. So yeah. So this is both good and bad. And I'm not a big fan of this, giving away the answer. But at the same time, I didn't instruct it not to. Okay, the good, it's an amazingly coherent essay that from start to finish made sense. Explaining the concept, it really understood that. If a student submitted this, it would be amazing, right? Like if they were asked to do the same thing. Approximately correct number of characters. It was a bit short, but because it wrote more succinctly, which is kind of the theme for today's video. Yeah, it didn't need to be longer. The comprehension question was excellent. You had to understand what it wrote about, and there was lots of ways you could go wrong. The text mentions these things, but you needed to actually understand what it said to be able to say this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Yeah, it says the opposite of this. All right, so I'm going to give this 9 out of 10 because that was pretty amazing. It's not really HSK6 level though. It's a bit hard. So, I mean, like if you're practicing for the HSK6, maybe you want something harder than the actual HSK6 so that when you actually take the exam, maybe? I don't know. What's your theory on this? Personally, I just think you just need a large amount of input so that everything becomes easy. But that was incredible. I'm going to be honest. All right. So who's next? I think Gemini is next. All right. Go Gemini. I also don't like the small writing. I don't know why. It's very common on Chinese websites to have lots of very small characters, whereas I like big characters. I don't know, maybe I'm old. All right. Yeah. Actually, the other thing DeepSeek DeepSeek didn't do. DeepSeek, right? Not Deep Blue, DeepSeek. DeepSeek didn't do was give me all this fluff. I don't care about the fluff. Oh, actually, I'm going to add that to the list. DeepSeek didn't know fluff and it understood the reference. Whereas ChatGPT didn't really understand that it was a famous quote. So let's see what Gemini gives us. So this is it. Should I include that? I'm not reading all the fluff. This is... Oh my god, Gemini! Have a guess how many characters this is. It is 500 characters exactly. Gemini! Oh, that's wild. All right. So I was not expecting it to give me exactly 500 characters. All right, let's go. 吸食简笔论，如果我有更多的时间，我会写一封更短的信。I guess this 论 is more like commentary, a commentary on this. 吸食, what is 吸食? Former writing or something? 吸? Oh no, it's 珍惜的惜. So cherish time, simplify writing. So I'm going to assume that Gemini's, like at the end of this writing, Gemini should come to the conclusion that we need to cherish time and simplify our writing. I don't know how it's going to come to that conclusion, but let's see. Can I make it larger? Not really. Go away. All right. 这句话 that's not a good start. 这句话 you didn't, like you meant to start with a self-contained article. All right. 这句话据说出自17世纪法国著名哲学家兼数学家派斯卡尔之口. It's fine, but you didn't say it. Is this meant to be a title? So you're not meant to cite the title in your work. That's bad writing. 蕴含着深刻的悖论式智慧，没问题。它绝非简单的托词，而是对简洁这一美学与效率原则的精词概括。乍一听 usually it's 乍一看 but here it's 乍一听。时间充裕 is that right? 充裕。时间充裕理应洋洋洒洒。All right, so we got this again, 洋洋洒洒。理应 is a word I've studied recently. It's like deserves or ought to be or deserves to be, this sort of thing. I remember asking ChatGPT to translate he broke the law, he deserves to be in jail, and ChatGPT used this word in particular for, ought to be in jail. 何以反而能促成删繁就简? So this is 成语, right? I'm not sure. I mean, these AIs can make up their own 成语, right? 这正是此言引人深思之处. All right. So this is like at first glance, but instead of glance, it's at first, when you hear the quote, you think, if you've got lots of time, it ought to be like voluminous. 何以反而? So this is like, however, 何以反而能促成这个? It takes time to, I don't know, prune edit. 在现代社会，我们常被信息洪流所保辖保辖裹挟. All right, this is a new word for me. Yeah, it's kind of like 泛滥. 冗长, what's this character? 赘语, I don't know this character. 的文字比比皆是，它们往往是思维疏于整理、信息缺乏提炼的产物。What's with all the bold? Oh, did you like? Yeah, exactly. Sorry. What's with all the bold? This is like the vocabulary one expects me to learn. 写作者如果未能投入足够的时间进行深层次的思考与审慎的斟酌，便容易堆砌素材。堆砌 is like brick by brick pile up kind of thing. It's figurative. 言不及义. So this is like the words don't hit the mark or something. I don't think it's that harsh. It's like, yeah, maybe the dictionary's definition is a bit harsh. 这种洋洋洒洒 we repeated this 的堆砌并非内容丰富，而恰恰是精神松懈，对吗？松懈 relaxed 与逻辑不够严密的体现。So we're criticizing excessively superfluous writing, saying it's loose spirit. It's like and the logic is insufficiently strict, maybe. 因此，这个人Pascal. I'm not sure if it actually is him who said that. Maybe it is. 这句话的精髓在于，真正的简洁是极度凝练后的醇厚。What is 醇厚? Is this a noun? I'm not convinced this is a noun. 定义 It didn't give me a definition. 定义 Why can't it? What? Alright, I'll just go here. 醇厚 Does this one say it's a... I don't know what... Give me a... That's a dictionary, right? Alright. Where's the definition? Alright, I'll use this one. 醇厚 This one... A quality of being... Here it's a noun. The rest are adjectives. So this is like the property. The property of being mellow and rich. 他要求作者首先要洞察问题的本质，接着进行艰难的抉择。Is that right? 抉择，将所有无关宏旨的集结，这是什么？无关宏旨 I don't know this one. Gist 毫不留情的自处剃胡子的剃 right? Okay, 剃胡子的剃 I think 剃胡子的剃 Let's Google T 胡子的 T. No, that's 剃胡子的 T. What is this character? T. What is this character? I don't know this one then. 只留下核心的论点和最精准的表述。这个筛选和提纯的过程本身就是一项耗费心神的工程。字斟句酌 Is that really a phrase? Wow, it is. It's this word, 斟酌, but 字斟句酌. This is a really good choice of 成语 then, weighing every word. 一锤定音. So every hammer blow makes a sound to fix a tone, make final decision. This one makes a lot of sense. This one, I don't know. 背后是比信马由缰 What? 信马 trust the horse 由缰 but have reins 的随性协作所耗费的更多心血和时间成本，正如布鲁克斯 Who is 布鲁克斯 I don't know 布鲁克斯法则所揭示的，在复杂项目中，草率的仓促只会带来更多的繁工和混乱。简洁不是贫乏，而是精心雕琢后的饱满，是对读者时间最大的尊重。All right. Oh, okay. So when we go back here, cherish time, we're talking about cherishing the reader's time and therefore simplifying our writing. So Gemini did come back with a conclusion that relates to the title. And 理解题 this is really long, but all right. 根据上文这个人 Pascal 帕斯卡尔所说的 blah 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 no 更短的线与更多时间的之间存在的关系，最恰当的理解是 all right 写作时间越长越能积累更多素材，信件自然会更长更充实。错 This is incorrect. Yeah, so if you have more time, you write a shorter letter. You are able to be more succinct and precise. And not the other way around. No, you don't gather more data and write more. 写作时间是影响信件长短的首要因素。时间多长能写短？That one seems correct, right? So the writing time affects the length, is the primary factor that affects the length of an article. If you have more time, you can write shorter. So I think B is correct. 充分的时间用于深度思考与精准提炼，是实现有洞察力的简洁的关键。That is also correct, right? All right. 写更短的信是作者偷懒的表现，只是为了给自己争取更多的时间。All right. So what do I think? I'm not entirely sure what the answer is here. I'm guessing this one because this is in bold. It's also the longest answer. All right, I'm going to jot down my thoughts and get back to you in a second. All right, so what did I think? I thought bad. Four bad things. One, this is just too hard. It's full of all sorts of unnecessary fancy words, and I did not really think they were there for any reason other than to make it sound fancy and hard. So I think this is beyond the HSK6 level. Also, too many fancy words crammed in. I don't think you can. I don't know. I feel like B you could reasonably answer. I get the feeling that AI wants you to answer this because it's kind of copied and pasted this from the text. But anyway, this bold font is really distracting and pointless. I don't know why I did that. So a few bad things there. I don't know. It really felt like it didn't say that much, did it? It just said the same thing over and over again. Yeah, too many fancy words. But it was exactly 500 characters. The essay is fairly coherent, no real problems there, and it understood the reference. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I think ChatGPT's is better. Yeah, I didn't see any like grammar errors or anything like this. But yeah, I don't know. It's just not as useful. Like even with ChatGPT and me going, oh, maybe that's a grammar error. I just think it's still just more useful. All right, so that was Gemini. I give it a 6. And let's do our final one for this video. This is Z.AI. Let's see what you do. I have no idea. I don't use this one very much. Thinking. All right. All right. Let's see what we got. First of all, how many characters? 362. This is too short. Yeah. Can I make it bigger? Oh, can I get rid of this? Yeah, I just don't like the interface of some of these, but all right. Go away. I just want bigger characters. I can't see the small characters. Go away! Alright. 如果我有更多的时间，我会写一封更短的信。Alright, so the quote is the title, not very imaginative. 这句话, oh, this is another one. Hold on, pause for a second, because this is not a good essay technique. Yeah, I just wanted to add that to the list of bad things Gemini did. 这句话, you can't go 这句话 as the first 3 characters of an essay. Could you imagine that? 这句话. It needs to be self-contained. So both Gemini and Z.AI walked into that. 这句话表达了一个深刻的道理。简洁的表达往往需要更多的时间和精力。在写作中，用最小的文字传达最丰富的含义，是一种高超的技巧。All right. So that's what the sentence means. 当我们匆忙写作时，往往会使用更多的词语，重复表达同样的意思，或者加入不必要的内容。然而，如果我们有充足的时间，我们可以反复思考、修改、删除冗余的部分，保留核心观点。正如一位著名作家所说：“我没有时间写一封短信，所以我写了一封长信。” Oh, that's no good. This is the worst. You can't just quote someone and then just make up the quote. And And just like, here, it's an anonymous author, unspecific author. Yeah, this is the worst so far. And they even did this thinking thing here, right? I don't know, did this mean anything? All right. Anyway, 简洁的文字更有力量。想想古诗词，短短几十个字，却能描绘出壮丽的想象。Oh, I like this. So this is we're creating an analogy here. So how we're meant to envisage like ancient poetry and how only in a few characters we get extremely vivid, extremely powerful meaning. I like it a lot. Don't like this at all. All right. So Z.AI has made a comeback. 表达深沉的情感。这正是因为作者经过反复推敲 there's that word again. That's the third AI that used 推敲. What does it mean? Think over. 选择了最恰当的词语。在现代社会，信息爆炸，人们的注意力有限，能够简洁明了地表达自己的想法，不仅是一种能力，更是一种尊重他人的表现。因此，我们应该珍惜时间，用心打磨自己的文字，让每一句话都简洁有力。Ugh, that was crap. Yeah, this no, it's just suddenly we're talking about respecting others and so on, which made sense in Gemini's because it was more coherent, more together, right? Here it's like suddenly we're doing this right at the last step. Anyway, this I like though. You're drawing a parallel with poetry, but the rest, yeah, and the writing was way too easy. I'm gonna be honest, that's way too easy. All right, 这篇文章主要讲述了什么？如何快速写一封长信？简洁表达需要更多时间和努力，就这个。古诗词比现代文章更好，现代人没有时间阅读长文章。Alright, so this is fine. There's a clear-cut correct answer. I'm going to write down my thoughts. Right, so where were we? Yeah, I just wrote my notes down. So this is Z.AI. Yeah, it was awful. I'm going to be honest. First of all, the writing was just way too easy. The writing was too short. The essay did this 这句话 nonsense, which means it's not self-contained. So both Gemini and Z.AI should lose marks for that. Yeah, neither DeepSeek nor ChatGPT did that. This is the correct way to introduce a quote. Yeah, here. 法国哲学家帕斯卡尔曾言：“若有更多时间，我本可写一封更短的信。” That's correct. That's a correct way of starting an essay. Here, no. Made up quotation by an unspecific author. Why would you be unspecific about that? You're an AI. I mean, anyway. And generally the essay was just all over the place. So yeah, no good. What I did like was this. The parallel with poetry, it's worked quite well, and the other AIs didn't come up with this. Like imagine a poem and how few characters you need to have very vivid imagery, and the comprehension question was very much like the kind of comprehension questions you get on the HSK exam. All right, what am I going to give it? I'm going to give this a 4 out of 10. It's no good. 4. I don't know, maybe not even a 4. I'll give it a 4. I'm not going to think about it. It could easily be a 3. um, all right. So that's our video for today. I'll do a recap for those of you who are skipping toward the end and just want to watch this little bit here. What we did in the video today was compare 4 different AIs, 2 Chinese, 2 non-Chinese. I gave them the same prompt to write a HSK6-level essay, and we compared them. The winner is DeepSeek. DeepSeek, and it wasn't even close. DeepSeek destroyed all the others. It's just so much better. It not only had a coherent essay, with like it even like brought up this kind of cultural aspects as well. It really is so much better. Yeah, I gave ChatGPT second place. Yeah, so DeepSeek's downside was it was a little hard, probably harder than what you get on the HSK6. ChatGPT, its essay was okay. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, it's not really bad. It's just not really like fantastic either. Implausible story. That's what I jotted in my notes. Kind of had this kind of okay, wait, 老朋友写信. Yeah, kind of just made up a story. It's really interesting because ChatGPT made up this story that the narrator wrote a letter to a friend, which could happen on the HSK6 exam. Sometimes it's like that. So DeepSeek brought up this concept, Liu Bai, which I don't really know, but this is the kind of thing. Leave some empty space in a work of art. Yeah. 中国画. So DeepSeek drew us into Chinese culture, or at least Chinese painting culture. What did Gemini do? Did Gemini do any parallels or just say the same thing over and over again? I think it just said the same thing over and over again in lots of different ways. And Z.AI drew a parallel with poetry rather than art. So DeepSeek's the best parallel. Z.AI's parallel is good. ChatGPT's is, kind of weak. But it was something. I'm a bit skeptical about ChatGPT's grammar at certain points. I noticed that DeepSeek's grammar is a little bit hard at points. This is a bit advanced. Turn off the dictionary. A bit advanced, or at least a bit unfamiliar for some, like for a HSK6 level. Z.AI failed at the correct length of the article. This is just too short. I said 500 characters. This was like 300 and something. Gemini got exactly 500 characters. DeepSeek did fewer but wrote more succinctly. So I give it a pass. And ChatGPT was perfectly reasonable as well. With respect to length, ChatGPT's writing style seems more HSK6-like than the others. Z.AI was too easy, and Gemini and DeepSeek were too hard. So this writing style is very much what you get on the HSK6 exam. It's peppered with phrases that you might not be familiar with. Okay, and what else do we need? DeepSeek's was no fluff. It's like, the other thing was understanding the reference. So prompts. This was the prompt. It was about if I had more time, I would have written a shorter letter. ChatGPT did not mention the reference. Like it would have had to Google it or something to figure it out. DeepSeek understood it, quoted Pascal, which is interesting because it's often misquoted. This quote is often misquoted. So I think it's misquoted as Mark Twain or something. Yeah, here. So none of the AIs quote said it was a Mark Twain quote. They all figured it out it wasn't. But ChatGPT didn't say anything about where the quote came from. 我读到一句名言. Yeah. At least it's not made up. Z.AI, like it said it correctly in the title and then incorrectly quoted it here. The other thing was this 这句话, starting an article with 这句话 is no good, right? It's not self-contained. And both Z.AI and Gemini did that. And that's not a good writing style. So congratulations, DeepSeek. You destroyed the competition. And thanks everyone for watching my video. Yeah, as usual, my videos are a little bit long, but if I had more time, I would have made a shorter video. No, actually, I probably wouldn't have. I'm not that good at video editing. You get the idea, you get the idea, you get the idea. Anyway, thanks everyone. Remember to like, subscribe. I will see you in the future. TTFN!